Khabib Nurmagomedov, guys, is this the last time we talk about him? I mean, is that what's going on here? Khabib's out. Khabib's out of the industry. I'm quoting things, but I don't know that I understood what those meant. I don't know that set in. In fairness, that's kind of a strange vernacular to use. I'm out of the industry. I mean, it's very encompassing. Khabib was promoting, for goodness sakes. Khabib's got a gym. He's cornering guys. I would imagine essentially involved in a management realm. People are talking to him about coming back and he's going to grapple George St. Pierre, right? I mean, you guys have heard all of these things. So when he says the industry, he's trying to wrap up absolutely any question that anybody would have and say that he's out. I understand that, but for some reason a week ago when it was said, it didn't resonate with me. I missed it. I guess. I missed the degree. I had questions. I had questions that I also felt I had answers to. Let me give you an example. Is Khabib going to corner Islam against Volkanovski? Then my answer to that, yes, of course he will. That's already set. He's going to see this through, right? He's put in his 2 weeks notice, if you will. He's not grabbing his lunchbox and going out today. Well, no, it appears that he did. It appears that he did. He's out. Is what it appears. So I'm asking you guys, do we quit talking about him? Would we have anything to talk about with him? It's a very encompassing statement to say, I am out of the industry. I don't want to travel anymore, right? Doing the tour around North America, but then specifically training camps in San Jose at the AKA. He wants to go back into Dagestan. Sent out a picture of some relatives. I think it was children. I think it was wife. I think it was niece and nephew. Great, beautiful family. Sent a picture out. Nothing to do with MMA, but why he's stepping away from MMA. That might be the last we hear of Khabib. Is that where we're at? That would kind of be a very sobering moment, wouldn't it? I mean, that would be a lot to accept. And his own guys are saying yes. Like, I don't know why you guys are all having a hard time understanding this. He is out. Okay. Is that a problem for Islam? Can I stretch it in that direction? Because Islam says no. Islam said, of course, I would rather have Khabib there. Then you paid him a whole bunch of compliments. Not only to the strategies and the emotions of the fight, he even talked about the weight cutting and the travel prior to the fight. The Khabib's an expert. He can worry about these things. I can just do what he tells me to do. I don't have to do a whole lot of thinking. I mean, he paid some compliments. Volkanovski weighed in on it. Did you guys see that? Volkanovski comes out. He goes, hey, I don't want any excuses here. Get Khabib, don't have Khabib. Don't bring that up. I'm going to beat Islam. And I don't want any built-in excuses. And that was interesting, I must tell you. Like, of anything that Volkanovski may not have in this life, you can't put confidence on that list, boy. He is a confident guy. I love this fight. As each day goes by, as this fight gets a little bit closer, and this fight's only a month away. I love this fight. I'm not positive that Dana fully knows what he has. I'm not. I think when the final chapter of Dana White's career as a promoter is written, this is one of the fights that's going to rise to the top. This is a destination fight for a world championship against number 1 and 5 pound for pound. Both sitting world champions. This is huge. And not to mention how it formed. That's one of the reasons I think maybe Dana doesn't understand what he has. I mean, you guys can all relate to that. What you would value, what you would not take for granted, what you would appreciate, things that you worked for, things that you set up by example, things that you sacrificed and you got there early and you stayed late. This one just fell on its lap, right? I mean, remember these guys jump. Islam becomes world champion. Nobody knew that was going to happen. Volkanovski jumps in the cage while the cameras are still rolling and they agree to go and fight. I mean, this just happened. And I think it might be one of those things where, hey, every now and then, just appreciate it. You don't always have to question. You don't always have to look a gift horse in the mouth. This is an incredible fight. And the mere fact that we now have a storyline that involves Khabib to the fact that Islam is going to have to put somebody else in that spot. We're going to find out who that is. But that adds to the story. Who is that person and why? Of all the people with you, why is this the person that got elevated? And that could be a lot harder spot than you think, guys. A lot harder spot. When you have Khabib, so you now know who's going to be there. As a matter of fact, Khabib, why don't you pick the corner? You're my guy. I only got so many ears. I need one mouth. Why don't you pick guys that you're comfortable when you're corner? Okay, right, that's a problem solved when you got a group that's real close, that calls themselves brothers, where some of them are actually related. What happens when that guy leaves and now you gotta raise one of them up? How do you do that? Do you do it by height? Do you flip a coin? Is there a game of cards that's played? Or do I have to do the most uncomfortable thing where I come out and I tell the one of you that I like the most? I got a whole group of buddies. I don't want to name you guys. And I would really get this guy. I eloped because I did not want to have to do the whole groomsman thing. It can be a very awkward situation. So not for nothing, who Islam's going to put in the corner and why is relevant. And now it's to the point that Volkanovski has weighed in. I can't remember the time that an opponent weighed in the media a month prior to a contest about the opposing corner. I've never heard of it. And I got to ask you guys, is this how we're saying goodbye to Khabib? Has he already said goodbye? Is Khabib even going to see this video? If Khabib's not going into the gym, if he's not going out to Perth, if he's not going into the corner, if he's not managing, if he's not traveling, if he's not cutting weight, why you think he's in a .com somewhere right now? He's over at youtube.com checking out the Chael Sonnen page? Probably not. We have probably said goodbye to Khabib. I just feel like that's a massive story. I feel like the send-off was inappropriate. I don't want to imagine that this is the last time I say the words Khabib Nurmagomedov to you guys. But it might be.